can't win the game they designed, Betty. Soon as we catch up, the rules change.
You giving up on our dreams?
I'm finding new dreams, reworking the old ones.
A poignant, transporting, and quietly subversive story of racial justice, political legacy, and family forgiveness. That is how one might describe the play entitled The Ripple, the Wave That Carried Me Home, written by the Tony-nominated writer Christina Anderson. The play is a moving exploration of a family's response to injustice and a daughter's reckoning with her political inheritance. We're here today at Luna Stage to speak with the cast about this authentic and riveting show. This show carries quite a title. Can you give us an idea of what the show is about?
There is a ripple event that happens in the show that sort of catapults the lead character, Janice, into coming back home, essentially. So she receives a phone call back from her hometown. It requires her to have to reckon with her past and with her family, and it's that ripple of an event that turns into this whole wave that really allows her to face her past, reckon with it, and essentially return home.
The Ripple, the Wave That Carried Me Home is about a family over the course of 1940 to 1970s in terms of this desegregations of pools that were going on in the 1960s.
Tell us a bit about your character and their journey.
I play Janice. At the beginning of the play, we meet her in her home in Ohio, where she is raising a family, she's married, she's a professional working woman, but her family and all of her roots are based in Beacon, Kansas. Her family was deeply involved in what we would call aquatic activism, and her parents were very much involved in that fight personally, and eventually throughout the course of the play, she has to come home to sort of reckon with being a part of that legacy, but still wanting to sort of find her own way.
I play a young woman that is, her whole name is Young, Chipper, Ambitious Black Woman. She is all for preserving the history of African American culture, honoring those who came before us. And she kind of catapults the play. Then I play Gail. Gail is the comic, she's the auntie, she's an archaeologist, she also preserves history, but she travels the world. She feels freedom is just exploring the world, getting to know people, understanding our culture in another way.
Edwin is Janice's father, Helen's husband. Since he was 8 years old, has always kind of come up against authority. You know, in the 1940s when he was younger, all the pools were segregated. And Edwin is the type of person that never really wanted to stand for that. And so he became an activist and the face of this movement to desegregate the pools in Kansas.
My character is Helen Collins. She is Janice's mother. I am an aquatic activist. It is something that my father started in the play, and so my character has always had this family inspiration of activism, and I give it to my daughter through my love of swimming. She kind of plants the seeds in Janice and in other people to be their best selves and to fight to be heard.
What does the perpetual relevance of a show like this mean to you?
This show is timely and timeless. Where we are as a country, a lot of things in history are repeating themselves, so it is relevant in that way.
From the very first day I read the script, what I brought into rehearsal and what also came to mind was the Sankofa bird. As its chest moves forward, the head is turned backwards, and the symbolic understanding of that bird is you must understand where you've come from in order to move forward. And I feel like that is one of the major themes in this play, in the fight for revolution, in the fight for equality, in the fight for human rights. And in a political climate that is trying to erase where we've come from, it can kind of be misleading and misguiding.
Relating back to my character, I do think it is important to preserve history. I think that we're in a time right now when we're seeing, especially African American history, kind of disappear. And so what this show does is that it preserves that history, but also brings us into now to show, like, as humans, we're all chasing the same thing.
She always wrote letters, and she always put a small trinket in just for me. In the context of the individual family, we see that there's a way that we each can sort of play a part. It makes the political, personal, we see it viewed through this family. On the one hand, it's disheartening to know that we're still struggling and fighting certain fights, but this is just a regular family as well who wants better for each generation to come. So I think that's also hopeful to know that we could all share in this fight.
When working on an overtly political show, how do you hope to entice audiences who are weary of that word?
I think it will take them out of this political realm that we're in right now and just say, aren't we just all human? Aren't we all trying to create these memories? And so that's what this show does. It tugs at your heartstrings. It makes you laugh.
This is necessary work, and it's an ongoing journey to ensure that future generations get to experience a better world than what you had.
Everybody has their place in the movement. I think sometimes people may feel like you need to be protesting or you need to be in the streets all the time. Your written word can be a power, your spoken word can be a power, and just to know that you can have an impact in the world, I think that is also in this play.
What about this show are you most excited to share with audiences?
That healing is in memory, that healing is in culture, and that healing is in coming together. And I think that is the heart of the show and what is missing in our world right now.
This play is also about forgiveness. I think the world we live in today, certainly the hope that we can move beyond where we are, that sometimes we have to forgive the people who hurt us. I'd love audiences to walk away knowing that even when it's difficult, forgiveness is possible, and I think there is something beautiful on the other side of that.
The Ripple, the Wave That Carried Me Home will run May 1st through the 25th at Luna Stage in West Orange. I'm Gina Marie Rodriguez for Jersey Arts. Thanks for watching.